Some snow today, guys. It's kind of pretty, but I don't like it. Anyway, we're heading across town. Gonna try to get a little video done on Eliza today. See you soon.
Hey, it's Jeremy. I'm sitting over here at the My-Way MFG Research and Development Center this morning. And behind me here is Eliza. I came here Friday. I started welding up this driver's side cowl. And things got to where they weren't welding so good. Looked over, welder had ran out of gas. I wasn't filming that. I was going to get that done and then start the video with getting the floor pan and hump done. So anyway, Carol's going to go tomorrow, pick up a tag for the welder. We can get started on that once again. But I wanted to get a video out today, an Eliza video, because I think some of you guys look forward to these every week. I know I do. So I thought, what can I do without a welder? I've done a lot of welding, guys. Anyway, we're going to look at some of this interior stuff today. I want to see if that speedometer cable works. I've driven this car several times and it's hanging right in front of me. It's unhooked from the speedometer and just hanging there. I'd like to see if it's spinning. If it is, I'd like to hook the speedometer up to it and see if it works. We'll get the back wheels up a little bit. I want to look at the park and brake cables. I want to see what I need to do to make that work again, because I do want park and brake. It's handy if you've got a manual, you know. The cowl flapper thing up top only opens about halfway. I want to see what's sticking that. The ashtrays, I'm thinking about deleting them and just welding the hole shut, smoothing the dash off there. I want to look into that. Possibly get the rear door panels off. See if we can get those window regulators working a little smoother. Just going to go over some of that kind of stuff today that needs done, you know. Windshield wipers. I can order a electric conversion kit for the windshield wipers. It's just a bolt in, I think 2-3 bolts and a couple wires and it's in. But I gotta make sure all the transmission arms and stuff work. So we gotta make sure that stuff moves. If it doesn't, we gotta make it move. So let's get in here and get started. I just jacked the back of the car up, put it on some jack stands. See the speedometer cable's hanging right here, guys. It's been hanging there ever since I bought this car. And I'm wondering if Brian, who had the car before me, unhooked it because it was rattling this stuff around and it was just making an annoying noise. So I got the car up on jack stands. I'm going to start it up, put it in gear, and see if this spins. Yeah, that's my plan here. So let's see what happens here. The starter button isn't working at the moment. It grounds to start the car. So right now I've just been rubbing this wire right here. don't want to go in gear for some reason right now. Let me just start it in gear and see what that does. Whoop, let's switch back on. Wheels are spinning, but speedometer cable is not. So, if you've got a broken cable or a bad speedometer drive, I'm going to look into that real quickly here. Don't know what it is with this car, but every once in a while the clutch will stick to the pressure plate, and you can't get it from neutral into gear. So you got to start it in gear and then hit the brake, and it'll break it loose, and then it'll be all right. Those wheels are spinning right now. There, I got it broke loose, guys. Had to have the clutch in while I was pushing the brake. It's kind of hard to do with no seat in here. Cables broke off down here at this end, guys. It's all frayed off. The rest of that's probably okay. I'm gonna have to get the broken piece out. I got to thinking I need to probably be doing this before I cover this up. You know, I'm going to take that off. Make sure that's clean in there, get the broken pieces out. See where I can find a speedometer cable from. This gauge takes a different end. I need one with a female end on it. This one has a male end. So I probably needed a different cable anyway to make this gauge work. Wonder what size those are. 7/16 maybe? The other end of this cable that's hanging down the dash appeared to be in pretty good shape, so I was hopeful that it would work. But I think what probably happened is very first time the car was started and drove, it was probably hooked up. The cable was probably okay at that point, but that speedometer, I imagine, was froze up. And when it twisted, it probably just wasn't able to move the mechanism in the speedometer and twisted the end of the cable off at the bottom, would be my guess, because that speedometer, that instrument cluster up there, it looks like it was probably bad enough that it wouldn't have spun. Well, the teeth are sheared off the gear. Damn it. Wonder what the other side of it looks like. That could be bad. We've got a broken cable end in there. That would spin freely, but the teeth on the gear are just, I doubt if they're good enough to engage. If we I spun the rear wheel and I watched this speedometer worm gear all the way around. It looks fine down in here. So I think all that's okay. I'm gonna have to find a different gear for here. This gear is pretty bad shape. And then I'm gonna need a new cable. So I'm gonna put this back on there for now. Basically just so it don't get lost, but I know what I need anyway. So I'll put this back on, we'll move on to something else. I would think that that gear being stripped out was kind of by design. I would imagine they put a softer gear in the speedometer drive than what they put on the drive shaft, so that if anything was to ever go wrong, it would take that gear out before it would take out the one that's hard to replace, you know. So we're gonna have to source out one of those. It's got a 19 stamped on it. And guys that watch the channel, Richard, Mart, some of you guys that know a lot about these cars, way more than me, maybe that 19's got something to do with the gearing for the speedometer, to get the ratio right. I don't know. But there is a 19 stamped on that housing for that speedometer drive. So I'm gonna have to source out a gear, and I'd like to find a cable that has a female end on it that would work with this newer speedometer. So I probably will try to take this cable the rest of the way out of here just so I can see what length it is and stuff. But yeah, then we're gonna move on to the next thing I want to show you, I guess. You know, guys, now that I got this YouTube channel and I'm famous worldwide, people come up to me and they ask me all the time, Jeremy, what should we look for when buying a classic car? Well, I tell them the first thing you want to check is the ashtrays. See if a smoker owned a car, you know. Like this ashtray here. I'm looking at it now. You want to look in there and see if you see any signs of where a cigarette's been put out, you know. If the ashtray's clean and never been used, well, that would make you think the car was pretty well cared for. So like when I bought this car, the first thing I did was check the ashtray. And you can see there is no cigarette butts in there whatsoever. And even if you try to put cigarette butts in it, they won't stay. So I'm thinking this was a pretty well maintained car, you know. Clean. But anyway, guys, no, seriously, I'm gonna be welding these holes shut. I don't like these ashtrays on the corner. I wouldn't use them, and I think the dash would just look cleaner if they were gone and that was just smoothed out. I'm gonna make a panel, a plate to weld into that instrument panel. It'll all get smoothed out so it looks factory, or you know, it'll look right. Then these gauges are gonna go in. This one in the middle, one on each side, probably gas and temperature. The other ones will go on a plate down here on the dash, but I'm gonna paint it the color of the dash, which is gonna be pearl white.
So it'll kind of look like it belongs, you know. The clock, you can buy the reproduction clocks, and I thought about doing that, but it wouldn't match the gauges. So I'm just gonna delete it too and smooth off that glove box. I think I'll paint Eliza's name on the glove box in script, like in silver to match the pinstripes in the seats, the beading. So those are kind of my plans for the dash right now. Things will change, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna kind of smooth all this off and make it not quite so busy. I'm not looking to make this Terrier factory correct, you know, but I am gonna make it look nice. The steering wheel, I'm gonna change it out. I like those banjo steering wheels that they had for the 30s cars. You can buy reproductions of those. They're kind of expensive, but I think it would be worth it and make it look real nice. They're gonna be like 150, 200 bucks for a steering wheel, maybe, but what the heck, you know, I think I'll get it. But those are my plans on the interior right now. I'm gonna get all the original knobs back on their ivory color. I can get them in like in an ivory color, which will match these real well. So anyway, those are my plans on that right now. And as soon as the floors are welded up, this is what will get welded up next. And as soon as that's done, I can paint it and get the glass in, which is really gonna be exciting for me. So let's move on to something else, guys. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this before, but these are the windshield wipers where they go up through the cowl. And see that little roller chain there? It's like the size of a woman's bracelet. It's like a bicycle chain, but it's the littlest roller chain you can ever imagine. It runs those wipers. It's really cool. Kind of a neat piece of engineering. But I'm gonna spray all this down with WD-40 and see if it'll kind of free up. Then I'll probably try to get that vacuum motor unbolted out of there here sometime. I don't know if I'll do it today, but that linkage and everything looks reusable at the present moment. I don't know. I'll have to look into it a little better, but there's a piece up there that, oh, that's just a little spring clip that holds everything together. I was gonna say that looks kind of rusty, but that's not a huge hairy deal. I can figure out something to do there if I can't find one. And those chains, they're like wire. They're not really roller chains, they're wire. You would think those would wear out. I thought they were rollers, but they just look like a little bracelet or something. Those things are crazy. I don't know if you can buy those or not. Hopefully these are okay. I just don't know yet. But I'm gonna spray everything down here and just see what I got, you know? That clip I was showing right there that's rusty, that's holding the two arms together, I could probably pop that off of there and then grab hold of the arms individually and see if I could get things to move. That might be what I do. But yeah, that's what the wipers are like, guys. I wish I could get you a good view of that. There's a really good view of that chain. See what those are, guys? Who would have thought they'd ever had something like that? Kind of neat, though. But anyway, I'm going to see if all this stuff works to see if I can save it. I hope I can. Okay, next thing we're looking at is the glove box door. It's been hanging down like that. I've had it latched up in there, but it still hangs down. I thought the hinge was rusted off. I get to looking at it. The hinge is working. All that's fine. I've just got a bolt missing right there. I think all I gotta do is put a bolt back in there and kind of adjust it, you know, in them slots, and I'll probably have that working pretty good. Get this clock out of here and weld that shut. But the button works fine. It's latched right now. Actually, the day I was buying the car, I tried to key in that, and that even locks. So that's good to know, right? Another one of those pristine ashtrays. These door panels, I want to get these popped off of here. I'm going to have to get the pin out of there. That's a bit hard to do. But I'm going to soak all that stuff down with some spray. We've got a weird kind of science project going on back here in the rear deck. Some kind of foliage. Yeah, we'll address that later. I was looking at this stuff up here and I thought it was rust, but it's not rust. It's some kind of seam sealer or goo of some kind. I don't know. I'll just kind of scrape that out of there one of these days. I'm going to stay more focused on the front of the car. That's where we're going to be sitting when we're driving it. If stuff back in here doesn't quite get done, I'll get at it later. Anyway, guys, I'm going to spray all this stuff down with some WD-40, try to get it moving a little better. The cowl, where's the handle for that thing? Right here. This thing pops up a little bit, and then something's sticking it. So I think what I'm gonna do for a day is just get all this kind of stuff sprayed down. Get a plan, you know, which I got a plan now, I think. And, oh, hey guys. This is where I was on that when I ran out of gas. That's got just a little bit more welding to do and then grind it off, and then we're ready to drop in this next floor pan. We're gonna do the same thing that we did over here. Got another piece of eighth inch plate up there that we're gonna use. Hey, didn't get a whole lot done today, but we kind of laid out what we want to get done anyway. Got some more welding to do around those hinges on the passenger side A panel. A pillar. I didn't show that, but that'll get done as well. By the time late March rolls around, I'd like to have this on the road, so I got to get busy. But I think as soon as the rest of this welding's done, things will start going much faster. It's kind of time consuming, making all these patches and cutting and welding and stuff. The rest of it, you make a lot more progress with, you know. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me today. Picked up a lot of subscribers this week. I wanna welcome all the new guys and ladies. Thank you for subscribing. And please like, comment, subscribe, all them things. And we're just gonna keep going with this, you know. That's our plan. We're gonna keep doing it. So anyway, later guys.